Okay, I'm going to create a table that will filter on a column in a table, and I'm going to do it on a Cisco switch on the bandwidth, which is right here. And I'm also going to filter on another column. So I'm going to filter on this bandwidth and also the operation state. So this could also apply to, say, the Sentry, where you want to maybe the column that says, I think it's a type, it's MPEG-2 or MPEG-4, and then we're going to filter on the utilization, or you could be the video quality. So I already did one query, and all it does it's just grabbing that table, Cisco Manager Protocol production, and this is the whole table. I haven't done anything different to it. Maybe I'll just go in here and do a select and choose what columns I want. So I'll just get rid of these, and I want the utilization rate added to right here. Okay. All right. Let's stop that or save that. Okay, so I have if in the utilization percentage, as you can see over here. This is my elements ID, which is, this could be like a different Sentries. And so this is a 2355. I have the 83, 70. These are all different switches in my network. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first filter on operation state. So I'm only do ups, and then I'm going to filter on one of these two columns. I could do the greater than a certain kilobits per second or greater than percentage. And so I'll start editing. So I'm going to start a new query. I'll call it greater. Or I'll say, I already called that bandwidth greater. So I'm going to call this table query. Okay. Okay, get parameters where element is in a protocol. Cisco Manager, production. Okay. I'm going to find my table. Okay, so now I have this, basically I'm in the same spot I'm in here. I have this table, but now I'm going to filter on the operator state right here equals, and I know that even though it says up and down, it's 0 or 1. So I know that up is 1. All right, so now I'm going to pull this table over here so we can actually see as we're working on this too. All right. As you can see now, this table's smaller. I just only have ops. If I did 0, 1, 2's down. Yep, 1's up. Okay. Now I'm going to filter on a greater than. And we're going to look at, we'll do the utilization percentage. Let me see. I'm going to do, actually we'll do if utilization. Will probably be easier to read. This is in kilobits per second. Over here it's in megabits per second. All right, so I'm going to do a filter. What I'm going to be filtering on is megabits per second. So I'm going to do if utilization, here we go, it's greater than, and I'm going to choose, this would actually be 0.043, this would be 0.37, so I'm going to do 0.050 or 450. 0.05. Okay. And so now I have fewer up it. Like if I go to 0.5, yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 different switches. So I'll go a little bit lower. I'm gonna do 0.2. How about if I do 0.08? Okay, that gives me a bunch of different ports and numbers. Okay, or different elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different elements. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to aggregate. All right. And I'm going to aggregate. I can aggregate any of these columns. But I'm going to aggregate on this if custom description. And this would probably be, I think, the service name in the Sentry. That'd probably be a good one to aggregate on. So, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just be counting. All right, so I'm going to, if custom description, method I'm going to count. So there's 16 lines in this, this table. All right, so this would be, if you did this on the video quality, less than 70, this would be how many. All right, so week 16, that's our total count. So I could save this, and this will give you your total count out of everybody, out of all your elements. But now what we're going to do is we're going to do a group by, all right? And I'm going to group by element ID. So now I know the exact, it's 16, but now these would be the count per each element. So this could be like Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska. So now, of course, once you do that, let me make this table a little smaller. You can also, it's in a table, and we can advance this a little bit more, but now you can also do something like this. Whoop, I don't want to do that. I want to duplicate it. I could do a graph or bar chart, choose my element ID and then the count. So I can sort of see my count. Go here and change this to absolute. And so now I can see how many, like each market, how many are below or that been filtered out. So this would be like each market would have 2 services that are under 70% video quality. Also, we could also maybe do a pie chart if you wanted to. To do the same thing, go to settings, element ID, and there you go. So we could do we could duplicate this last query and stop before we did the grouping, and you could get a total count too. And I will do part 2 on how we can get the name of the elements in this table.